Have you ever noticed that even when you eat well, your muscles still feel weak, or walking across the room feels heavier than it used to? For many people over 60, this is a daily frustration. You might think the problem is diet or age alone, but often it comes down to something much simpler: what you do right after a meal. Most of us finish eating and then sit down, maybe to watch TV, read the news, or rest for a while. It feels natural, but when we sit immediately after a meal, the body tends to store more fat while the muscles miss out on the nutrients they need. Over time, this habit can quietly drain strength, leaving legs and arms less steady than before. But here's the surprising part: just 15 minutes of gentle walking after a meal can flip the switch. Instead of feeding fat cells, your body begins to feed your muscles. This small shift can make a big difference in how strong you feel each day. Take Mary, for example. At 72, she often felt sluggish after dinner. Then she started taking a short walk with her husband each evening. Within weeks, she noticed her legs felt steadier, and she had more energy. Stay with me until the end of this video, because you'll discover how this simple habit could reshape your muscle health too. After a meal, your body goes through a very active process. The food you eat is broken down into glucose, which quickly enters the bloodstream. In simple terms, your blood sugar rises. This isn't a bad thing by itself, it's how your body gets energy. But the real question is, where does all that energy go? If you stay seated after eating, most of that glucose keeps circulating in your blood. Your muscles, which are like the largest storage tanks for energy, remain closed off. Think of your bloodstream as a wide river filled with fresh supplies, but the gates to the muscle cells stay shut. Instead of being carried into the muscles, the extra energy is stored as fat. Over time, this process starves the muscles of what they need to stay strong. Now let's picture what happens in daily life. Many people over 60 in the US have the habit of finishing dinner and then settling into a chair to watch TV, read the newspaper, or simply rest. It feels like the natural thing to do, especially after a heavy meal. But while the body is digesting, sitting quietly tells the muscles they don't need to work. The longer you repeat this pattern, the more your body prefers to store calories as fat rather than build muscle. The consequences add up slowly but steadily. Instead of maintaining lean, active muscle, the body begins to lose it. Fatigue after meals becomes common. Walking long distances feels harder, and balance may start to decline. This is why many older adults feel weaker even though they believe they are eating enough. The nutrients from the meal are there, but the muscles never get to use them. It's easy to overlook this, because the change doesn't happen overnight. It builds quietly, month after month, year after year. And the result is that muscles gradually shrink while body fat increases. This is one of the hidden reasons why aging can feel like an unavoidable loss of strength, when in reality, part of it is simply tied to what happens right after we eat. But here's the encouraging part. The body is surprisingly responsive, even at 60, 70, or beyond. Muscles can open their doors to accept fuel if we send them the right signal. And that signal doesn't require a gym or complicated exercises. So what happens if, instead of sitting down, you simply stand up and take a short, gentle walk? So what exactly happens when you take that short walk after eating? The answer lies in the way your muscles and hormones work together. When you move your body, even at a gentle pace, your muscles become active. Active muscles act like tiny engines. They pull glucose out of the bloodstream to use as fuel. This means your blood sugar doesn't stay high for long, and instead of being stored as fat, much of that energy goes straight into the muscles where it's needed. Insulin, the hormone that helps move glucose into cells, also works more effectively when muscles are in motion. Think of insulin as a delivery driver. If you sit still, the driver struggles to find an open door. But the moment you start walking, your muscles unlock those doors, and the delivery becomes fast and efficient. This is why a short walk can make such a dramatic difference in how your body uses the food you just ate. An easy way to picture it is to imagine your muscles as sponges. When you sit down after a meal, the sponge is dry and stiff, refusing to absorb what's flowing by. But when you move, when you take that walk, the sponge softens and opens up, soaking in the nutrients. Protein, glucose, and amino acids are drawn into the muscle cells, helping them recover and grow stronger instead of wasting away. For older adults, this effect is especially important. With age, the body naturally becomes less sensitive to insulin, meaning it takes more effort to keep blood sugar stable. This is one reason why type 2 diabetes is more common later in life. But walking after meals acts almost like a reset button. It helps the body stay sensitive to insulin, lowering those dangerous blood sugar spikes. At the same time, it provides the muscles with the nutrition they need to stay firm and functional. In other words, something as simple as a walk can protect you against two challenges of aging at once: rising blood sugar and shrinking muscle. John, a 68-year-old retiree, is a good example. He used to feel sluggish after dinner, often needing to lie down just to regain energy. His doctor recommended light movement after meals, so John decided to give evening walks a try. He started with just 10 minutes around the block after dinner. Within a few weeks, he noticed the heaviness in his legs fading. He could climb stairs more easily, and his post-meal fatigue was almost gone. What changed? His muscles were finally receiving the nutrients they had been missing for years. The beauty of this habit is that it doesn't require intensity or special equipment. You don't need a treadmill or weights. Just your own 2 feet and a little consistency. The moment you walk, your body shifts from storing to fueling, and the benefits begin to add up. But here's the exciting part: the advantages of walking after meals don't stop with muscle health. There are hidden benefits for your heart, digestion, and even your sleep. While protecting muscle strength is already a powerful reason to move after eating, the benefits of a short walk go far beyond your muscles. Your whole body responds to this simple habit, and the rewards can be seen in your heart, your digestion, your sleep, and even your mood. Let's start with the heart. After a meal, your blood is full of glucose and fats traveling through the bloodstream. If you remain seated, your heart and blood vessels have to handle the extra load all at once. Over time, this strain can lead to higher blood pressure and more stress on your arteries. But if you stand up and take a gentle walk, your muscles help absorb part of that load. It's almost like sharing the work. Your heart doesn't have to pump against as much pressure, and your vessels stay more flexible. For older adults, this means a lower risk of heart strain and a steadier rhythm. Think of it as giving your heart a helping hand at the very moment it needs it most. The digestive system also loves this small routine. Many people over 60 notice uncomfortable bloating, slow digestion, or even constipation. Sitting down right after eating can make these issues worse because the stomach and intestines are left sluggish. Walking, however, acts like a gentle massage for your digestive tract. Each step stimulates movement in your gut, helping food travel smoothly. Instead of feeling heavy or overfull, you may notice a lighter, more comfortable sensation. It's one of those changes you may not expect, but once you feel the difference, it's hard to ignore. Now consider your sleep. Have you ever eaten a big dinner and then struggled to fall asleep? That heavy, restless feeling often comes from blood sugar spikes and lingering tension in the body. A light walk after dinner can change this. Moving relaxes your muscles, lowers stress hormones, and helps the body shift into a calmer state. By the time you're ready for bed, your blood sugar is steadier, your stomach is more settled, and your mind feels quieter. For many older adults, This means fewer nights spent tossing and turning, and more nights of deep, refreshing sleep. Your mood is another hidden area where this habit shines. Imagine ending your meal and then heading out for a short stroll. The fresh air, the rhythm of your steps, and the simple act of moving combine to lift stress from your shoulders. Walking works almost like a natural form of therapy. It releases endorphins, improves circulation, and gives you a chance to clear your thoughts. For seniors who often face long days of sitting or solitude, this small routine can make a big difference in emotional well-being. Instead of feeling weighed down, both physically and mentally, you finish your day with a sense of ease. In fact, walking after a meal is much like flipping a switch inside your body. Without movement, your system tends to go into storage mode, holding onto extra calories as fat. But once you take those steps, the switch flips, and your body shifts into nourishment mode, fueling muscles, protecting the heart, soothing digestion, and calming the mind. It's not just about burning calories, it's about guiding your body toward balance and strength. By now, you may be wondering, if walking after meals is so beneficial, how exactly should it be done? How far should you walk? How long should you spend? And when is the best time to do it? So now that you know how powerful a simple walk can be, let's talk about how to put this into practice in daily life. The best part is that it doesn't require special equipment, a gym membership, or even a big block of free time. All it takes is a few intentional minutes after your meals. The sweet spot is about 10 to 15 minutes of gentle walking. That's all you need. The walk should be slow enough that you could hold a conversation without getting out of breath. Think of it as a relaxing stroll, not a workout. The goal is not to burn calories in a rush, but to send your muscles a signal: open up, take in the nutrients, and do your job. When it comes to timing, many people find the evening meal the most important. After dinner, blood sugar can stay high for hours, especially in older adults. A short walk right after this meal can make a noticeable difference in how steady your energy feels and how well you sleep. That said, walking after lunch also has clear benefits, fighting off the mid-afternoon slump, keeping digestion light, and giving your muscles another opportunity to use the fuel you just ate. Even breakfast, though usually lighter, can be a good moment to start the day with movement. How can you make this easy and enjoyable? If the weather is pleasant, take a short stroll around the neighborhood. If you live with a spouse, a friend, or even a pet, invite them to join you. This turns the habit into a shared moment rather than a chore. On cold or rainy days, you don't have to miss out. Walking slowly around the house, down a hallway, or even marching lightly in place can still help. The important thing is consistency, not perfection. Of course, there are some mistakes to avoid. Walking too fast or treating it like vigorous exercise right after a meal can actually backfire, leaving you uncomfortable or even causing cramps. Remember, this is not the time for speed. Another mistake is waiting too long after eating. If you sit for an hour or two before moving, much of the benefit is lost. The ideal moment is within the first 10 to 20 minutes after finishing your meal. And finally, don't overdo it. Walking for an hour after dinner might sound good, but in reality, 10 to 15 minutes is enough to unlock most of the benefits without putting stress on digestion. When practiced regularly, this small habit delivers a wide range of rewards. Your muscles stay better nourished, your heart doesn't have to fight against sudden spikes in blood sugar, your digestion becomes smoother, and your sleep feels deeper and more refreshing. In other words, you're giving your body what it needs to age gracefully with strength and vitality. So, if you've ever wondered whether small changes can make a real difference, here's your answer. 15 minutes of gentle walking after a meal may be one of the simplest, most powerful tools for your health. If this message resonates with you, I invite you to like, share, and subscribe for more insights on healthy aging. And I'd love to hear from you. Which meal will you try walking after first, breakfast, lunch, or dinner?